Hey there. I just want to talk to you real quick about what to do if you have a student taking a Denison algebra course and they're doing great on the assignments, but they're failing the test, maybe both forms of the test. Like, what is going on there? So let's talk about that real quick. Usually it's because of one of two things. Preparation, their preparation, something's lacking in their preparation, or they're suffering from some pretty heavy test anxiety. So let's take a look at both of those. With the preparation, I would recommend you look at 5 different things, okay? The first, make sure your student is watching the teaching video in their entirety, start to finish, not cutting it short, believe it or not. Some students occasionally like to cut the video short because they feel like they understand it, so they don't watch the whole video. But I would recommend encouraging your student to make sure they're watching the entire video actively, meaning taking notes as they go and pausing it as needed to make sure they understand what they're learning. Okay, that's first thing to check. All right, here we go. We'll just check. Okay, let's say you check that. Second thing that I would check is to make sure that the student is putting in the effort on the homework assignments. Okay, now listen. Students have access to the solutions videos. Okay, some students will lean very heavily on the solutions videos or even the solutions manual and not put the proper effort into trying to wrestle with the homework problems. So when students are doing their homework, I like for them to attempt the whole thing first time through without using the solutions videos or the solutions manual. So they need to put the effort into trying to work those problems, looking back at the notes, trying to figure out how to do them. And then when they complete the assignment, that's when they go to the solutions manual or the solutions videos for help. So make sure your student is putting in the effort in the homework and not just jumping quickly to looking at maybe the solutions videos to grab some quick and easy answers. So that would be step 2, second thing I would look at. Now, third thing, and this is a biggie, are they using the review lesson effectively? At the end of every chapter, there's a review lesson where I go through all the types of problems that'll be on the exam. So make sure they're watching that video, and then the practice test. Look at this. Using the review lesson effectively. B, take the practice test like it is a real test. There is a practice test at the end of every chapter. The student needs to sit and take that like it's a real test, meaning don't flip back and look at notes and things like that. Take it like it's a test, start to finish. And then they can grade it, okay? And then they'll know how well they're doing, whether they're ready for the test or not. And then they can use that to, they might need to put in an extra day of studying. If they do pretty poorly on that practice test, it lets you know, oh, hey, I need to go back and make sure I can work those. They can use the solutions videos to help them. They just need to rework problems on the practice test until they can work all the problem correctly. So using that practice test effectively is one of the best prep tools you can have, because then when you go to take the actual test, you will have seen a test almost exactly like it in the practice test. So it's kind of like round 2 when you're actually taking the test. And my tests are not written at a harder level than the assignments or the practice test. If a student has worked on all those, they've seen all the problems they need to see to be successful on the test. Also, you want to make sure your student's using their cheat sheet, the BHAG or the BHAG if you're in a geometry course. Okay, so make sure students are using the review lesson effectively. Okay, step 4, I would say make sure when your student sits down to take the test, don't let them take it cold turkey. Have them warm up a little bit. Have them look over the practice test, over the notes real quick, flip through it. Have them get the BHAG out and read through it and make sure they're kind of familiar with the reference page or the cheat sheet there, and then they can take the test. So just give them a few minutes, encourage them to warm up a few minutes, and don't take a test cold turkey. All right, that's the fourth thing. Fifth thing I would recommend, if they take test form A and they don't do well on it, put in an extra day of study and prep there in between those two. Let them watch the solutions videos for the test on that extra prep day. Parents have access to that. You can reach out to us if you need the link for that again. It was sent to you in an email, but feel free to reach out and we'll give you that link again. But have your student watch through the solutions videos for test form A, making corrections, reworking problems as needed, and then they'll be ready to do form B. So those are just some things that you can look into to check to see if your student is preparing correctly for the test or not. Okay, if your student really is doing well on preparation but hits a wall with the test, could be that we're dealing with some pretty heavy test anxiety. So a couple of quick suggestions for that. Of course, suggestion number one would be to just improve the preparation like what we were just talking about, okay? But step number two, you might want to consider modifying the test experience for your student. Some suggestions here: break the test up into small chunks. Have them take just little chunks at a time. Study little parts of it and then take that part of the test. Another suggestion, maybe retest just the portions that they miss, because maybe they get a little fatigued taking the whole test. So if they do poorly in one little section, just have them retest that little section. Another suggestion, you can make a unique reference cheat sheet for your student, particular things that they struggle with, some extra little notes that they can use during the test. Another suggestion, maybe allow them to use the class notes or the practice test as kind of a cheat sheet so they can look back. So just consider putting some modifications in that will help your student in your unique situation. All right, those are some things that you can look at to help try to figure out why your student's not doing well on the test, but they're doing so great on the assignments. Okay, awesome. Thanks. Bye.